Hello, today I would like to give you some impressions how we approach test environments and how we try to ensure that the network is working as it should work. And we are focusing on the telecommunication infrastructure. So in the telecommunication infrastructure we have different network layers. So we have the transport and RAN, where we have the radio access network with 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, but we have also services like IP, where we have then voice over IP devices. So this is a basic, very fundamental infrastructure where we are making phone calls and so on. Then we have, of course, the core network. This could be an IMS core, this could be a classical mobile switching system with HLR, HSS and so on. So without having very complex services like convergent charging services, we have only this layer. And on top of this, we have enablers like PCRF or user repositories or AAA or DNS servers. And on top, we have the service platforms like intelligent network, convergent charging systems, multi-SIM services, voicemails, payment services, and so on. And in a lab environment, we are, of course, in the move. And therefore, it is important that we know what is working in our lab and what is not working. And to identify this, we have a very simple approach. So first, we are using phones, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, and we are checking them without having any services. So we are only having this radio access to the IMS core, making calls from A to B, very simple, very basic. In the next step, we are creating test cases where we also require, let's say, AAA functionality, PCR functionality, user repository functionality, and where we are doing some slight changes to these parameters and see if our services are still working, if our calls, our data access, our SMS actions are still working. We can do this either for the whole network infrastructure, or we can pick out some test cases which are focusing especially on certain functions. And once we have this, we can go to more complex environments where we are testing the service platforms, for instance, in virtual office. And we can add some provisioning and load and stress test activities, or we check some payment services where we are doing some real-time transactions, or we can have only verify if CPEs are working correct, connect the CPE to a test infrastructure or IoT devices to the test infrastructure, trigger these CPEs and see the responses, what is happening on the CPEs. Even app testing can be done automated, so we are using the full range of all services. We have connectivity to the network, we have an app which is interacting with some service platforms like the online charging platform. We are doing a call for this convergent charging service, and then with the app we are verifying if the app was capable to give back the charging parameters, to show us the account, the money, what we have on this service, if this is correct or not. So this is the different layers of the networks, the way how we can ensure that certain features are working or not. So at the end you have approximately 100 test cases, and by running them in a regression on a daily basis, or maybe twice or 3 times a day, approximately you will need 40 minutes to run these test cases. You can identify which parts in your network are working and which parts are not working.